getting off at exit 50 in Danvers, Route 1 South. Alright, we're on Route 1 South in Danvers, Massachusetts. This is where the long walk comes to an end. Somewhere along here. Hey, welcome to the end of the long walk road trip. I am in Danvers, Massachusetts along Route 1 South, and this is where the long walk ends. Stebbins, Garrity, the Major. Let's go check it out. You can see I'm next to Danvers Industrial Park. I'll leave a link to the Google Street View. You can check out where this is. It's kind of loud. I'm going to try to talk loud to talk over this traffic. So, it's also windy. I've had this problem where I've got my notes and then the wind is just blowing them around and I can't read them, so I apologize. And here we go. So, I tried to estimate using clues from the book. I tried to estimate where exactly did the long walk end. And the way I figured it out was I used this excerpt to start. The concentrates were being passed out for the fifth and last time. This happens at 9 a.m. each morning. Then about 15 minutes later, a banner reads, "Only 15 miles from Massachusetts border." So now I can calculate the place and time where they got their concentrates. Because I know it's like 9:15 a.m., 15 minutes from Massachusetts. So using Google Maps, I found that place, and it was actually the city not mentioned in the book, but it was Algonquin. I mispronounced these names, Indian names, Algonquin. So the long walk ends at about 8:15 p.m. So this is this sign is about, that I could find, 9:15 a.m. So 11 hours later, calculating walking at 4 miles per hour, they went 44 miles from Algonquin, that location. And so using Google Maps, I calculated 44 miles from Algonquin, that spot, 15 miles from Massachusetts. And using that calculation, I ended up in Rowley, Massachusetts. Not quite in Danvers. Now, is that a mistake? Maybe. But if perhaps they were walking at 5 miles per hour, then they would have made it to Danvers. So it's plausible, given the clues, that they ended up in Danvers, Massachusetts. But they would have to average 5 miles per hour, and that's kind of hard to believe given they were in such bad condition at the end. They were probably just barely above 4, but anyway, I would consider that a mistake in the book, but leave it up to you. So here's the ending. Check this out. Imagine the scene. I'm trying to bring the book to life. This is where it would happen. And if you look at the red cover, which, if I remember, I'll show it now. Here's the red cover. It doesn't look at all like this. So that's a mistake on the red cover. And I have a separate video where I go through the mistakes of the first cover and the second cover, the blue cover. Alright. By 8 that evening, they were walking through Danvers, and Garrity finally knew it was almost done because Stebbins could not be beaten. He would just tell Stebbins he was up ahead a little, limping quite a bit now, and looking emaciated. He made himself go faster until he could put a hand on Stebbins' shoulder. "Stebbins," he said. Stebbins turned and looked at Garrity with huge floating eyes that saw nothing for a moment, then recognition. Then recognition came, and he reached out and clawed for Garrity's shirt, pulling it open. The crowd screamed its anger at this interference, but only Garrity was close enough to see the horror in Stebbins' eyes, the horror, the darkness, and only Garrity knew that Stebbins' grip was a last despairing reach for rescue. "Oh, Garrity!" he cried and fell down. "Stebbins?" he asked curiously. Let's continue. He bent and somehow managed to turn Stebbins over. Stebbins still stared at him, but the despair had already skimmed over. His head rolled bonelessly on his neck. "Stebbins?" he said, but Stebbins was dead. Garrity lost interest and got to his feet and began to walk. Up ahead, a jeep roared toward him. "No vehicles on the road, you damn fool. That's a capital offense. They shoot you for that." The major stood in the jeep. He held a stiff salute, ready to grant first wish, every wish, any wish, death wish, the prize. Gotta turn the page. Behind him, they finished by shooting the already dead Stebbins, and now there was only him, only on the road walk. Man, it's hard to read. It is hot out. I apologize. Let's get this right. And now there was only him, alone on the road, walking toward where the major's jeep had stopped diagonally across the white line. Yeah, there's white lines here. But on the blue book, they got yellow lines, so that's a mistake on the blue book cover. So I bet Stephen King drove this and made notes. White line. Who knows? And the major was getting out, coming to him, his face kind and unreadable behind the mirror sunglasses. Garrity stepped aside. He was not alone. The dark figure was back, up ahead, not far, beckoning. He knew that figure. If he could get a little closer, he could make out the features. Which one hadn't he walked down? Was it Barkovich? Collie Parker? Percy, what's his name? Who was it? Garrity! Garrity! The crowd screamed deliriously. Garrity! 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 Was it Scram? Gribble? Davidson? A hand on his shoulder. Garrity took it off impatiently. The dark figure beckoned in the rain, beckoned for him to come and walk, to come and play the game. It was time to get started. There was still so far to walk. Eyes blind, supplicating hands held out before him as if for alms. Garrity walked toward the dark figure, and when the hand touched his shoulder again, he somehow found the strength to run. Alright, in my next video, I'm going to discuss who is the dark figure. So check that out. And join me on this long walk. See you later.